Good morning and happy hump day, my friends. It's Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. I, of course, am Hammer here with your daily mortgage rate update. Coming to you on Facebook and on YouTube. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Glad to have you here, my friends. We're going to give everybody a chance to come in. While we do that, y'all want to see an update on my barn? Let me show you an update on my barn. Hold on, let's pull this. Look, it's coming along, y'all. Hold on, we'll get there. Look at that. It's looking, that tree's a little in the way, but you can see it. Look at that. It's coming along. We've got a roof. We've got 2 floors. They're going to shingle, put up that wall today. I think they're going to wrap it up today. I think it'll be done. Again, it's just a shell, so not able to move up there yet, but that's the first step. And then it gives me some time to go ahead and get things dialed in. And I'll be in there with my new office. I'll show you that view by the middle of the year. Going to take a couple months to get that interior finished, but and get the electric in there, but should be pretty good. So I'm excited about that. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget, give me hashtag replay in the comments. Hashtag replay. Let me know that you were here. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag a fellow friend, share this post in a group. And if you'd like a reminder that I'm going live each morning, you can get a text reminder, hmmr.io/reminder, or use this cool QR code. If you're on your phone, you can take a screenshot and you can actually go to your photos and use the QR code. I didn't know that. I talk about it all the time now because I think it's so cool. Phones have finally, the OSs have finally started to embrace using QR codes, because it looked like QR codes were going to be pretty useless for a while. They just really weren't going anywhere. Also, y'all may notice I started a few minutes early today. I just got so excited. I clicked the button on the text message and went, oh, oops. And since I fired off the text message that I was going live, I had to go live. So I apologize for those of you that are like, hey, how come you're already here this far? So, but let's go ahead and say hi to the live folks, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So who we got here this morning? Mallory Fotiadis. Good morning. James Mahan. Happy hump day, sir. Yasmin Martin. Good morning, my friend. Angela Walters. Hello and happy Wednesday. Amy Blauser, good morning. Mike Brown, Glenn Boussard, Michael Love. Hey, quick question. Do y'all want to see the new website coming out for Originator Success? Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see that, and I'll fire it up. I have it on the other screen. It's not quite ready for prime time yet. There's still stuff that we're obviously working on, but if you want to see, I'm very excited about it. It's really done well in testing. So we're going to see where it goes. So if you guys would like to see it, let me know and I'll show it to you. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and we'll talk about rates and pricing and all that stuff as well. So this morning, the CPI, let me move this out and we'll say, okay, let's go ahead and get started. We'll click that part here. Let's go ahead and go over it. So the CPI data this morning, it did come in better than expected, right? So CPI data has been really good. If we take a look here at the chart, you could see the headline month over month came in at 0.2 versus an estimate of 0.3. The core CPI month over month, which takes out food and energy costs, that's the one that traders are really watching, came in at 0.2 versus 0.3. Now, shelter was a big increase on that one. Shelter costs continue to be a problem. And that's why, even though it did improve, the shelter costs actually made that improvement a little less than what it could have been. CPI year over year, the headline number 2.8 versus 2.9. When we take out energy and food, the core is 3.1 versus 3.2. So although, yes, these are better than expected numbers, they're not really enough to get super excited about. But it certainly is better than if the numbers had come in hot, right? So yesterday, I was advising to lock anything closing near term ahead of today's data because we just didn't know what it was going to be. Everybody professes to know and then nobody really does. That's why we get those reactions and that's why their expectations. So let's take a look at bonds and talk about what happened today and where that was. So if we take a look here, you can see this morning, let's start off with yesterday, and then we'll get into this morning. So yesterday, around 10 a.m., when we do the videos, mortgage bonds were all the way up here. They're around 101.45, 101.50. That 101.50 is a line in the sand, that I kind of have there. And mortgage-backed securities lost ground through the day. By 4 o'clock, when we sent out the afternoon wrap-up, we were saying, hey, you may want to lock, and you may want to go ahead and call that a day there. So we did see some reprices worse yesterday afternoon as bonds trickled down. Now this morning, look at this loss. Look at this dip. And this dotted line that you see right here is the end of the day yesterday and the opening today. The reason that you see a big dip is because of overnight trading. And we really were losing ground. Now, we picked up a little bit of ground. Markets opened around 8:20. And then the CPI data came out at 8:30. And boom, here we are. Big jump up, big spike up in bonds. And then a little bit of volatility. But overall, otherwise, it was looking good. And then back to where it was before the CPI number. So even though that CPI number did come in better than expected, when you look, consumer prices rose less than estimated, blah, blah, blah. Housing inflation cools, but shelter was actually up. I don't know what they're referencing in particular here. Let's see. Here are key takeaways. Let's see what they say the key takeaways were. Both the headline CPI and the core, excluding food and energy costs, rose, but a notably smaller rise than seen in recent years. Shelter. Shelter costs rose 0.3%, which accounts for almost half of the monthly CPI gain, but a notably smaller rise than seen in recent years. Year-on-year inflation came in at 2.8, down from 3 in January, 3.1 for the core, down from 3.3, the slowest pace since April 2021 when cost of living began to surge. Core inflation was propelled by items including medical care, used vehicles, recreation, apparel. Airline fares and new vehicles declined. The drop in airfares added to signs of a downturn in travel demand flagged by carriers. Plus, they're charging too damn much. I mean, that's the reality is if anyone's bought a ticket recently, they're expensive. It's expensive. So food inflation slowed, stock futures added to the gains, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, as we take a look at this, and Charlie Bedita, good morning, man. As we take a look at this, it's nothing exciting, right? So going back to mortgage-backed securities, we're up 13 basis points on the day. That's still lower than what you saw yesterday. So rate sheets today are going to be worse than what you saw yesterday, but more that I did initially when I sent out the email, I said better than reprices worse yesterday, but we've continued to lose ground after I've sent that out. And so you're not going to see too much of a difference there. The 10-year treasury yield, also a big red flag. That's got to catch our attention. Right now it's at 4.32. We have not seen it cross this 4.3 barrier. We were at 4.3 on the nose on March 7th, right? If we round up, but it's been all the way since February 24th. That we have broken, that we've been up this high. That was the last time that we were up that high. We dropped to below 4.30 on this Monday, or on Tuesday the 25th, and we'd been below that. Again, we continued lower, kind of picked up some rebounded a little, came back below, and then came back above. We're watching this 200-day moving average. Mortgage bonds did go below that. Remember, going down, 10-year treasury yield. 10-year treasury yield. And this is important because when the yield, we want to see the yield go down, not up. With mortgage bonds, we want to see them go up, not down. Okay, because one is yield in their inversions. So when we see this yield break above that 200-day moving average again, and it came down and tested it for one day where it closed below it, but it just couldn't hold. And then we're back above it again. And overall, this really puts us in a position. My lock advice, let me just go ahead and take a minute and put it in here for you. If it's less than 15-day and any risk averse, should lock cautiously, float longer term, 30 plus days. Okay, so let's take a look at the lock advice. My advice would be anything less than 15 days, go ahead and close. Or go ahead and lock. We've got the Fed meeting next week. The Fed meeting is also going to have a new dot plot. There's already some speculation that the Fed will adjust their dot plot to signal 3 rate cuts. And I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't. I don't think that the Fed is going to signal that yet. I think it's still too early. There's signs that the economy is weakening and the Fed would cut rates in a weakening economy, a weakening labor market. But at the same point, they're also still fighting inflation. So I don't know that next week's Fed meeting is going to be a clear winner for us, especially we're going to see the dot plot. And then you're going to have Powell get hit with a lot of questions. And he's going to get a lot of questions about the tariffs and the trade war stuff. And I don't know that it's going to really work to our benefit next week. I'm not really comfortable with that. Now, loans that have a lot more time, it's not as much of a big deal. But loans closing, unless, in the next couple of weeks, you're talking a week from now to get to the Fed meeting and then no time at all to recover before you've got to be locked to get the loan closed. Just too much risk for me. So I'd be locking those. And also anything closing in the next 30 days between now and the middle of April, you got to look at, we've got another labor report coming at the beginning of April. If that shows weakness, we could see bonds take another bit of a rally. But when we look at the technicals here, you can see mortgage-backed securities, they had a hell of a run. We hit our low of the year in January, the middle of January, and we've really pushed up, since then. There was a little bit of hiccup here with that CPI data and, kind of markets taking a break. Again, everything's cyclical, but it goes up and comes down a little bit. It's 3 steps forward and a step back, 2 steps forward and a step back, a step forward and a couple steps back, and then 3 or 4 steps forward, kind of a side shuffle, and now we're seeing a step back. The question is, how far back do we go? And what would help push to see a rebound? The expectation here, I think we've got some room to run. I don't put any stock into this blue line here. That's the 25-day moving average. We could argue that is at 101.16, that'll act as support, but I would put my money on the 200-day moving average, and that's 101.07. So we have quite a bit of room that we could see it worsen. Another, 15 basis points easy before we get to that 101.16, and then another 20 basis points, 25 basis points before we get to that 107. So I think we could see it continue to lose ground here unless we get some kind of, strong something. Tomorrow's PPI data, wholesale inflation, not likely to cause much of a rebound here. So I wouldn't be holding out for that. So like it says on the screen, my lock advice, if it were my loan and I'm closing in the next couple of weeks, I'm definitely locking. If I'm closing in the next 30 days, I'm deciding, how much risk do I really want to take? Because unless we get some labor market data at the beginning of April that shows weakness, the PCE data that comes in at the 28th, I don't know that that's enough to give us any improvement. We didn't even really look at this. I mean, it really just has been a no reaction to that CPI, and that's got to catch your attention and make some things here. So there you go, my friends. Ron Siegel says today is National Baked Scallops Day. Ew, that's not my thing. Nothing for me, chicken wing. And then here, I'm going to put this on full screen so that you guys can get the actual. Otherwise, it looks like it's on an iPad with that size. Come on, give me back my. Hold on a minute. There you go. Okay, there it is. All right, so here's the new Originator Success website that we are building out here. When you see this, it's like, obviously that's where the names and things go. The color scheme will change based on what your colors are. The reason we've got 2 different processes, we have our, kind of a lender mortgage process or a broker mortgage process. If you want to talk about, shopping the loan and wholesaling, one of those will be a show hide. So you would see them that way. We've got some, new stuff going on. Let's see, is the calculator there yet? Let's see if the calculator page is live here. I can't get to the link here yet, but we've got a purchase path. If you're already working with someone else and want a second opinion, we've got that dialed in. If they're refinancing, what do we do here? FAQs with all the calls to action. And the calls to action, they actually go to a contact page. So what happens is we've found that even though it's an extra step in there, it makes it easy for somebody to click to call, click to text, click to email. If you've got scheduling software that would go here, don't worry about little things like this. That's why it's still it's not finished yet. The designer will fix that. But if they're doing an online application, of course, that's live there. But we've got all that stuff set up. If somebody wants rates, that is the weekly rate forecast that it would take them to, so they can sign up for that and generate some business there. If you've got a team, don't be upset if the links are broken. Again, this is just all but you could have your team on here, and the team pages will have certain contact profiles versus the other thing. So it's good. It's all good. I'm excited about it. I think it looks sharp. Okay, well, all the links are broken, but again, it's because they're still in the design stage and it's being finished out. But that's the new look for that, and that'll be rolling out to everybody. In testing, we've had a lot of success with this. We had a very similar design that we were testing, and it did very well. Now we're rolling it out onto our new platform, and everybody will have access to that and have some things that they can turn on and off in it, and some stuff. Oh, there's a loan page in this one. Loan types and different things going on, and different borrower scenarios, and all that's built in here as well. But anyway, so. Well, my friends, John said in the DC region, we have a buyer-seller confidence issue. Yeah, no, I get it. You're going to. I mean, again, it shows that rates are important, but they're still secondary to other life events, like what John's talking about. In that DC area, of course, a lot of those people are employed by the government. And therefore, if you're afraid you're not going to have a job, or that your job's going to be, grossly affected, it certainly puts all this other stuff on hold. People don't want to take any whatchamacallit. They don't want to take any chances. So that's that. By the way, Grab and Go Social has been nailing it. We're going to open up the pre-sale again. We've just been so busy that I didn't have a chance to do it the last day or two. But we're going to give anybody, if you missed the chance to sign up at the last pre-sale, you'll have a chance to get in there. And I'll tell you more about the stuff tomorrow. But, it's under $100 a month to the program's going to be $147 full price, but anybody that signs up at the launch will be able to get in for under $100. And no contracts, no setup fees. The pre-sale is a $7 plus. Then I think it was 6 months at $67. So you get quite a bit of discount, get some running room. I got to tell you, being on social is where to get business today, guys. And we've really worked hard to make something that works for that. Nathan said the people that can't list 5 things they did last week. Yeah. Well, let's look at that. Robert, is that what the new exciting websites will look like? Or is that what the new existing websites will look like? Or is that for new website? No, Robert, that'll be everybody. So anybody on the platform will be getting this new template, and then we're going to roll out some other templates. We're going to keep rolling out some new ones now that we've got these all built. But the new platform allows us to do that. We can instead, before we had to build every website individually, build and manage them individually, and we became a victim of our own success as we signed up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of originators. It becomes very, very expensive and very difficult to manage that many at a time. With this new platform, the pages are dynamically coded based on, it took over a year to build and a lot of money, but they're dynamically coded, so we can roll out a new template, hit a button, and it hits every website. So you're already on that platform with the older style design, which is single page. But this was a huge undertaking. On the front end, you're like, yeah, it's a website. It looks kind of whatever. But for us to be able to do this for hundreds of people at the touch of a button with all the information, customized and color customized and all kinds of things, it's a huge feat, and it was really cool. So yeah, that'll go to everybody, my friend. But all right, well, everybody, again, I think we really just need to consider locking. I'll throw it up there one more time. My advice would be to consider locking loans closing in the next couple of weeks and possibly even in the next 30 days, because unless we get some weak jobs data the next BLS report in the beginning of April, I don't think we're going to see this rally kind of gain steam again. I'll show the screen one more time. We'll just go over it real quick. But when you look at the screen, it really, you look at what's happening here and the technicals, everything has stalled. The 10-year is creeping higher. Mortgage-backed securities have moved lower. There's nothing here that says things are going to turn around. And I don't think that they will, unless we get some really, really clear signals that the economy is tanking. We need to see a lot more fear of recession, some proof of actual economic distress, maybe some cracks in that credit bubble, that kind of thing. So, all right, everybody, well, have a fantastic day, my friends. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.